Gilligan's Island, the show that had left audiences from all over the world laughing and feeling entertained in the 60s as a result of the tremendous performances of an amazing cast, unfortunately ended in a way that fans would neither have predicted nor liked. As fun as the show was, the tragedy that has befallen the major cast members is one that saddens the heart of any fan of the show and fills them with both nostalgia and a heavy heart. In this video, we will be taking a closer look at the major cast of Gilligan's Island show, Bob Denver. Popularly known for his iconic role as Gilligan in the hit television series Gilligan's Island, Denver lived quite an interesting and eventful life filled with ups and downs. Despite being a fan favorite for his role of Gilligan in Gilligan's Island, Denver was not without his flaws, as behind closed doors, he struggled with drug addiction, and then the issue with the law began to occur. On the 7th of February 1971, he was arrested in Anderson, California for possession of marijuana. He was sentenced to a fine of $250. The case died down, and Denver was allowed to continue with his life. However, again in 1988, he was arrested for having marijuana delivered to his home. For that, he received 6 months probation. Denver had been in poor health for several years before his death, suffering from various respiratory problems and other ailments. In early 2005, he was diagnosed with cancer, specifically throat cancer, which he had been battling for several months. After all that, Denver seemed to stay out of the radar of the law for a bit. He was a heavy smoker and he developed cancer and had to receive heart bypass treatment in the year 2005. Sadly, in the same year, he passed on from complications including pneumonia. This came after his throat cancer surgery. So many health complications brought the fan-favorite television series giant to his knees. He will be missed. Alan Hale. Known for his role as Skipper in the beloved show Gilligan's Island, Hale was a very interesting and colorful character in the show. As one of the top cast members, his role in the series proved to be his most prominent and successful role as far as his acting career was concerned. Even after the show, Hale faced the common challenge of being typecast, as he was too close to the role of Skipper for anyone to want him to play anything else. While this might bother some actors, Hale was not at all bothered. As a matter of fact, he didn't mind it at all. Thankfully, however, even after the show, Hale was able to get guest star roles in television shows like The Wild Wild West and Here Comes the Bride, which he wholeheartedly accepted. However, despite his amazing life in his 60s, he was diagnosed with thymus cancer, and at the age of 68 he passed on as a result of it. His body was later cremated and sprinkled into the Pacific Ocean. He was a real legend and has acquired a well-deserved star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Jim Backus. For his role as Thurston Howell III in Gilligan's Island, Jim Backus was also a well-loved character. His passing on the 3rd of July, 1989 came as a rude shock to his fans, family, and friends alike. According to reports, Backus had been experiencing health issues for several years leading up to his death. He had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 1979 and had also suffered from a series of small strokes. These health problems caused him to slow down his acting career, but he continued to work whenever he could. In early 1989, Backus contracted pneumonia, which is an infection of the lungs that can be especially dangerous for elderly individuals or those with weakened immune systems. He was hospitalized for treatment and was initially thought to be responding well to antibiotics. However, his condition worsened, and he ultimately passed away from complications related to the illness. Backus's death was widely mourned by his fans and colleagues in the entertainment industry. He will be remembered as a talented and versatile actor with a distinctive voice and a unique comedic style. His legacy continues to live on through his numerous film and TV appearances, as well as his iconic role as Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island. Natalie Schafer. In early 1990, Schafer was diagnosed with liver cancer, a serious condition that can be difficult to treat. She began undergoing chemotherapy and radiation treatments in an effort to combat the disease. However, her health continued to decline, and she was eventually hospitalized due to complications from cancer. Despite the best efforts of her doctors, Schafer's condition worsened, and she ultimately passed away on April 10, 1991. Her death was widely mourned by her fans and colleagues in the entertainment industry, who remembered her as a talented and versatile actress with a sharp wit and a warm personality. In addition to her acting career, Schaefer was also known for her philanthropic work. She was a dedicated supporter of the arts and made numerous charitable donations throughout her life. Her legacy continues to live on through her iconic role as Lovey Howell on Gilligan's Island and her many other film and television appearances. Russell Johnson. Russell Johnson passed away on January 16, 2014, at the age of 89. The following is a detailed description of the events that led to his death. In early 2014, Johnson was hospitalized due to kidney failure. He had been suffering from the condition for several years and had been undergoing dialysis treatments in an effort to manage his symptoms. Despite his health problems, Johnson continued to work whenever he could, and he remained active in the entertainment industry up until the time of his death. On January 16, 2014, Johnson passed away from natural causes at his home in Washington State. His death was widely mourned by his fans and colleagues in the entertainment industry, who remembered him as a talented and versatile actor with a warm personality and a great sense of humor. Aside from his acting career, Johnson was also a proud veteran of World War II. He served in the United States Army Air Forces and was awarded the Purple Heart for his service. Russell Johnson's legacy continues to live on through his numerous film and television appearances, as well as his iconic role as Professor Roy Hinckley on Gilligan's Island. Dawn Wells, on December 30, 2020, at the age of 82 due to complications from COVID-19, Dawn Wells, who played the beloved character of Mary Ann Summer in Gilligan's Island, passed away. In October 2020, Wells was diagnosed with COVID-19 while traveling to film a movie in Idaho. She was hospitalized for several weeks and received treatment for her symptoms. Despite her illness, she remained optimistic and continued to communicate with her fans and friends on social media. However, in late December 2020, Wells' health took a turn for the worse, and she was moved to hospice care. She passed away on December 30th, 2020, surrounded by her family and loved ones. Wells's death was widely mourned by her fans and colleagues in the entertainment industry, who remembered her as a talented and versatile actress with a warm personality and a great sense of humor. Her legacy continues to live on through her iconic role as Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island and her numerous other film and television appearances. In addition to her acting career, Wells was also a philanthropist and advocate for various causes, including animal welfare and the arts. She founded the Idaho Film and Television Institute to help promote the film industry in her home state of Idaho. It is true that all of these are a testament to how many struggles Hollywood celebrities have to face even in their lives, and it also speaks of their strength. But when it comes to strength and challenges, the story of Annette Funicello is one to consider. Click on the screen to see how health and life challenges threw themselves at one Hollywood icon, but her stamina and grit saw her through till the end, where she won in her own way. Dawn Wells, a name synonymous with the iconic Gilligan's Island. But behind the camera, her story runs deeper, twisted by financial turmoil and overshadowed by her character, Mary Ann. Think you know Dawn Wells? Think again. Thrust into the spotlight, she captivated millions, but when the cameras stopped rolling, the real drama began. Amidst a whirlwind of fame, typecasting struggles, and a surprising financial downfall, Dawn's life was anything but the paradise depicted on screen. In a tale that weaves through the highs of stardom and the lows of bankruptcy, discover how this beloved actress navigated a world where reality was more challenging than the deserted island she famously called home. Stay tuned as we unravel the untold story of Dawn Wells. It's more than just about money and Gilligan's Island. Chemistry major turned artist. Born as Dawn Alberta Wells on the 18th of October 1938, she was an only child. Her parents were Joe Wesley and Evelyn Wells. They lived in Reno, Nevada, where she attended high school. The family owned Wells Cargo, a local construction company. She was a bright girl who took chemistry at Stevens College, located in Missouri. Later, she transferred to the University of Washington, located in Seattle, to pursue her passion for theater arts and design. She joined the women's fraternity, Alpha Chi Omega, and earned her degree. Beauty Queen of Nevada. The promising young girl won the Miss Nevada beauty pageant in 1959. She competed in the 1960 Miss America held in New Jersey. The promising young girl found her way in Hollywood and debuted on the television series The Roaring Twenties. She was cast in the medical drama film The New Interns, based on a novel. It's the 60s version of stories revolving around the lives of hospital practitioners. She was also cast in the sitcom The Joey Bishop Show. The show had low ratings and was canceled by NBC, but CBS came in and picked up the show to air its final season. Cowboys Girl. The actress also appeared in the detective drama series 77 Sunset Strip. Then she joined a star-studded cast in the cowboy drama series Cheyenne. It was the first on the list of Warner Brothers' Western original cowboy series. It was also the first one-hour-length series of its kind. She also appeared in the Western television show Maverick. The cowboy poker story included comical dialogues new to the Western action genre. Since the actress already penetrated the celebrity world of cowboys, she eventually got a part in the infamous show Bonanza. It was considered the longest-running Western series on NBC Network, just a few inches behind Gunsmoke on CBS. It was so popular, its theme song hit the charts. It was also listed in the 50 greatest TV shows of all time by TV Guide. This award-winning live action ran with 431 episodes, encapsulating the moral dilemmas of its time. Dawn Wells also appeared in Wagon Train, which received the #1 rank in Nielsen ratings. She also guest-starred in many other action-packed series. A budding television star. From heavy action and detective plots, she then joined the cast of the comedy drama show It's a Man's World. She was then cast in the school life-centered production Channing. She came back to the live-action dramas in Laramie, Burke's Law, The Invaders, and The Wild Wild West. The latter was made famous when the Western cowboy genre was losing its spark on the screens. It was created to have the tone of a spy like James Bond riding on horseback. Aside from detectives and cowboys, she also rode with the police agent in the series The FBI. The actress was also in the crime drama Vega and Matt Houston. Which of these have you watched? Then, the actress got the privilege to board a luxurious cruise ship in the rom-com The Love Boat. She also entered the mysterious, imaginative drama of Fantasy Island. The plot was about the guests on an island and how their fantasies were made true, but later on they learned they had to pay a price. After this, she received more projects for several sitcoms. She also got the chance to work on the set of the first-ever Christian-based sitcom titled Pastor Greg. Ginger or Mary Ann? In the early 60s, a rivalry brewed with a question posed mainly for men. It says, Ginger or Mary Ann? It was the ultimate dilemma of choice, but the winner was always the name Mary Ann. This role was Dawn's most remarkable character for the 1964 adventure series, Gilligan's Island. She joined Bob Denver, who played the funny Gilligan. It was an epic comic tale of shipwrecked passengers trying to survive on an island. Her sweet character was so effective. She got to publish the book, Mary Ann's Gilligan's Island Cookbook. The actress even released another book titled What Would Mary Ann Do? A Guide to Life. She also made her gingham checkered ensemble quite a fashion. That show inspired many castaway films in modern times. In 2016, the actress was chosen as the marketing ambassador of MeTV when the network started the rerun of Gilligan's Island. Dawn in movies and theater. Aside from television, she also took cameo roles in several films since the 60s. In 2011, she was part of the comedy horror film Silent but Deadly. That movie was supposed to be titled Hotel Arthritis. Our dear old folks wouldn't like the innuendos. Dawn Wells had so much energy and passion that she appeared in nearly 100 theatrical productions. She went on tour in the 80s and even had a one-woman show at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. When Dawn Met Larry. Dawn met the talent agent Larry Rosen in the 60s, and the two found a liking for each other. They married on a sweet day in October of 1962. The couple did not bear any children and sadly decided to divorce after 5 years. Dawn gave hope to many. Dawn was widely known in the industry for having a big heart for the needy. As a businesswoman, she established the Wishing Wells collections. They operated as a clothing company that aimed to provide comfortable, well-fit apparel to people suffering from physical challenges. Some would request specific measurements of clothes for partly functional limbs. Many of their customers gave well wishes for the company's helpful mission to the immobile, especially those in wheelchairs. So, when the company discontinued its operation, many were also disheartened. The actress also founded the nonprofit Idaho Film and Television Institute. The organization aims to provide education, training, and developmental support to the less fortunate in southeastern Idaho. In the beautiful summer of 2004, the actress planned and organized the Spudfest Film and Music Festival. It was an annual event conducted in Driggs, Idaho. They aimed to provide a venue for indie filmmakers and short film creators who emphasize family values. In this event, they also promote the group Idaho Potatoes. This is to support locally grown products, most especially potatoes. The actress was also good friends with Bob Denver and his wife Dreama Denver, so the two women provided charity support to the disabled and needy in West Virginia. Dawn provided financial aid to the Denver Foundation. Dementia took over her and her money. It was reported in 2018 that the actress was battling medical complications due to an accident. A GoFundMe webpage was set up in her honor to financially support her medical bills. It was a truly rough time for her. In an interview, the actress thanked her friends and well-wishers, especially those who cared for her both physically and financially. In 2020, her manager revealed in public that the actress suffered from dementia. It is a disease most common during old age or when the person encounters an injury or disease that may damage a part of the brain controlling the memories. It impairs the person's ability to remember, or worst, the ability to function normally. On the 30th of December in 2020, the 82-year-old actress passed away due to COVID-19 complications. A Happy New Year clip in remembrance of her was pre-recorded and was released the year after. A good number of television viewers were left in utter shock when the iconic show Gilligan's Island was suddenly canceled in 1967. The show had brought so much entertainment and fun to homes at the time, and it certainly had the potential to become a bigger show in the future. This video reveals the real reason why Gilligan's Island was canceled. All you need to know about Gilligan's Island. If you're a 60s kid, then you certainly remember the iconic show Gilligan's Island. It was to be one of the shows that was thoroughly enjoyed by thousands of Americans at the time. Before its release, there was no show that showcased adventure during that period, so the show was the first of its kind. The producer, Sherwood Schwartz, was discouraged by several movie executives who thought the concept of the show wasn't good enough for television. He was told that the show was going to be a flop. However, he believed that his vision for Gilligan's Island would succeed. After strategically bringing cast and crew members together, the show was finally brought to life in the early 1960s. On the 26th of September 1964, Gilligan's Island was released to air on the CBS network. The show was about 7 individuals from different backgrounds who were trapped on an island after being shipwrecked. Each episode was a revelation of the complexities and issues that were faced while they made efforts to escape from the island. Every single character in the show had his or her own unique personality, but the lead male character, Gilligan, was said to be the most interesting of them all. His character was played by actor Bob Denver, who did a great job in portraying a young and carefree boy. Gilligan was responsible for most of the roadblocks they encountered while trying to escape the island. The show was packed with several great actors and actresses like Natalie Schafer, Tina Louise, Russell Johnson, and Jim Backus. Even though they were not all popular actors at the time, Gilligan's Island provided a platform for them to show TV viewers their phenomenal acting skills. Contrary to what several movie executives thought about the show, Gilligan's Island turned out to be a major hit from the day it was released. The reception of Gilligan's Island. From the moment the first episode of the show was released, most television viewers were hooked on it. It turned out to be one of the few shows that was an instant hit. Most television shows aired for months before gaining the full attention of viewers, but Gilligan's Island was so interesting that the viewers couldn't wait for the next episode to be released. The TV show was said to have an opening tune that would keep playing in the minds of anyone who watched the show. The first season of the show had over 36 episodes, and all of them received great ratings. Most people thoroughly enjoyed being carried along as the castaways struggled to survive on the island. Most fans of the show loved it for a variety of reasons, and the different characters of the show attracted people from different walks of life. Young children were drawn to the character Gilligan because he reminded them of what it felt like to be a child and the imperfection that came along with it. Adults also thoroughly enjoyed the show. Gilligan's Island became a household favorite as most families would come together to watch the show as soon as it was aired. The show was one of America's favorite sitcoms from the 1960s to the 1970s. The scene that officially ended the show. The final episode of the third season of the show aired on the 17th of April, 1967. It was titled Gilligan the Goddess, and the characters were still stranded on the island in that episode. In the episode, a king from a nearby island comes to specifically search for a white goddess to sacrifice to a volcano, but the castaways decide to offer Gilligan instead of the women in order to protect the women. The episode ended with the castaways still trapped on the island, and there was no indication that it was the final episode. The viewers of the show were already anticipating the next season, but their expectations were cut off when they heard that the show was canceled. Most television viewers were left in shock when they discovered that there was no fourth season. It was clear that the show ended abruptly, and this left people asking questions. It was surprising that such a promising show was taken off the air, and there was no solid reason to justify the cancellation of the show at the time. The real reason why Gilligan's Island was canceled. There were a lot of rumors and speculations about the reason why the show was canceled. Some people thought that the show violated certain rules, and others assumed that the producer decided to end the show after the third season. None of these assumptions were true. The truth is that the producer of the show had already planned to release the fourth season of the show in the near future. The cast and crew members were already working tirelessly to put the next episodes together. In fact, some of the cast members bought houses close to the set where they were filming. There was every indication that the show was going to keep running for a long time. The producer was told by the television network that the show will definitely be picked up for the fourth year, and it would be aired on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. as usual. However, after the last episode of the third season, the show began to face several challenges. The production company that was in charge of airing Gilligan's Island and several other TV series at the time, called CBS Productions, had expressed its intentions to cancel Gunsmoke. This was one of the popular shows in the 1960s as well, and it had been running for a long time. The decision that CBS made to cancel Gunsmoke did not sit well with some influential people who were fans of the show. Some of the people who were strongly against the cancellation of the show were CBS Network president William Paley and his wife. After much deliberation and the influence of certain network affiliates, Gunsmoke was spared. However, for the show to keep running, they needed to kick another show out and replace it with Gunsmoke. Unfortunately, Gilligan's Island was quietly canceled, and the time slot was given to Gunsmoke. When the news about the circumstances surrounding the end of Gilligan's Island was exposed, most people called it favoritism. It is quite unfortunate that after the producer was assured that his show would keep running, he was left disappointed. There was nothing he could do about it, and he had to break the news to his cast members who were on vacation at the time. Most television viewers who were expecting the fourth season of Gilligan's Island were certainly disappointed when they didn't see it on TV as expected. The cast members had to find ways to change their plans and pursue other acting gigs. Where are the cast members now? Even decades later, Gilligan's Island is still remembered as one of America's most iconic sitcoms. Even though it only lasted for 3 seasons, it lived on in reruns and garnered thousands of fans. The cast members of the show went on to pursue their individual acting endeavors. Unfortunately, some of them have passed away. The lead actor Bob Denver went on to work on several other movie projects after the show was canceled. He even worked as a radio personality for a while before he began to battle pneumonia. Sadly, he passed away in 2005 as a result of throat cancer. Alan Hale, who played the character of the skipper, also passed away several years later at the age of 68. Natalie Schafer, Russell Johnson, and Dawn Wells passed away as well. Tina Louise, who played the character of Ginger Grant, is one of the show's cast members who is still alive today. She currently lives with her family on Manhattan's East Side. Every single person who contributed to the success of Gilligan's Island will forever be remembered for putting smiles on the faces of TV viewers all through the 1960s. By every stretch of the imagination, Tina Louise has lived an amazing life. The exciting transition from her interest in entertainment to getting trained and dazzling us on the silver screen is certainly a story for the ages. But perhaps the most interesting part of her life are the things she achieved and did without the cameras. But her story cannot be told unless we start from the beginning. Childhood early interest. Tina Louise, originally Tina Blacker, was born on February 11, 1934 in New York City. Her parents split when she was 4, leaving her to be raised by her mom, Sylvia, a model. Her dad, Joseph, started off owning a candy store in Brooklyn and later became an accountant. Tina, the only child, grew up bouncing between her dad's candy store and her mom's world of fashion. Looking back, one may wonder how it is that Tina gained her interest and passion for acting. Some say it was because her mother was already a model and into showbiz, but when Tina was just 2 years old, she got her first taste of showbiz, and it marked a remarkable time in her life. She starred in an ad for her dad's candy shop, and although it did not seem like much at the time, Tina couldn't even remember much of what she did, but it set up an unconscious foundation of where her life would be headed later on, the entertainment industry. As Tina grew older, her interest in entertainment grew with her. She was known to be creative and interesting to be around. Tina attended PS6, Scarborough Day School, and later Miami University. But even while school was good and important for her, there was a deep longing in her heart, a hole there that nothing else could feel but what she really wanted to do, and that was to be an entertainer of some sort. Things took a turn when, at 17, Tina decided to do something about her interest, and so she decided to try her luck in acting, singing, and dancing. She started learning the ropes under Sanford Meisner at the neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in Manhattan, and from the moment she attended her first class, she already knew that this was where she wanted to be. This was where she belonged. For years, Tina trained herself in the world of entertainment, and for years she began to hunt for opportunities where she could shine and showcase her talent. Tina's music venture. And now here is where Tina's life gets even more interesting, because as she searched for greener pastures, she decided to delve into something else in the entertainment industry that no one expected her to be good at: music. Let's step back to 1957 when Tina Louise decided to try her hand at making music. She came out with an album called It's Time for Tina, which became a cool part of her journey in the entertainment world. To make this happen, Tina teamed up with Jim Timmons and Buddy Weed's orchestra, creating 12 songs for the album. It's like a musical adventure featuring tracks like Tonight is the Night and the timeless I'm in the Mood for Love. What's even more exciting is that the legendary saxophonist Coleman Hawkins joined in, adding a jazzy vibe to Tina's tunes. Even till today, Tina's music is still alive and kicking. The album has been brought back not once but twice on CD, with the latest comeback happening on Harkett Records from the UK. And guess what? In 2012, It's Time for Tina made its digital debut on iTunes, so a new bunch of people could groove to Tina's melodies. But that's not all. Tina also dipped her toes into making music with United Artists Records. Although she only made one single for them in 1958, it's proof that Tina could rock not just on the screen, but also on the musical stage. The public opinion on her career took a dramatic turn as people began to realize that Tina Louise, the actress they knew from Gilligan's Island, also has this cool musical side. Her album and single might not be as famous as her TV shows, but they're like hidden gems, waiting to be discovered by those who want to take a musical journey with Tina. Back to acting. After tinkering with music a bit, Tina decided to return to her first love, which was acting, and apparently 1958 turned out to be her year. In 1958, Tina Louise stepped into the world of cinema with her debut in God's Little Acre. As expected, Tina gave it her all. She knew that if she nailed it, it would open more doors of opportunity for her, and that would be the beginning of great things for her. She believed she had all it took to be able to make it in Hollywood. She was well aware that looks were also a big part of success in Hollywood, and so she leaned into her talents as well as her beauty. And it paid off because later that same year she gained recognition when the National Art Council crowned her the world's most beautiful redhead. And it turned out that recognition helped push her career and dreams forward because the following year was equally great for her, too. She shared the screen with Robert Ryan in Day of the Outlaw and went on to become a leading lady alongside stars like Robert Taylor and Richard Widmark, often taking on serious roles. By this time, Tina was becoming a bit more confident and comfortable in the industry. She was also beginning get busier and more in demand. As a matter of fact, she began turning down roles in films like Lil Abner and Operation Petticoat, but even at that, Tina's career still took diverse turns. For one, she ventured into Broadway and Italian cinema, starring in films such as The Siege of Syracuse and Garibaldi in 1960. But after a while, she began to feel a little homesick, and there was no better feeling than performing in the States. So Tina made the decision to return to the U.S., where she continued honing her craft by studying under Lee Strasberg and joining the Actors Studio in 1962. Her versatility shone when she guest starred on The Real McCoys in 1962, and later appeared alongside Bob Denver in the Beach Party film For Those Who Think Young in 1964. In 1964, she took on the iconic role of movie star Ginger Grant in the sitcom Gilligan's Island. Despite the show's success, Tina grew dissatisfied, fearing typecasting. She left the Broadway musical Fade Out, Fade In for the small screen. Though she continued working in film and TV, Tina lamented that playing Ginger had hindered her movie career. She didn't participate in subsequent Gilligan's Island sequels, with other actresses taking on the role of Ginger. Post Gilligan's Island, Tina pursued a steady acting career, appearing in diverse roles such as the Matt Helms spy spoof The Wrecking Crew, 1969, with Dean Martin, and The Stepford Wives, 1975. Seeking to break free from her comedic image, she embraced darker roles, playing a heroin addict in a 1974 episode of Kojak and a cruel corrections officer in the 1976 TV movie Nightmare in Batham County. Television continued to be a significant platform for Tina, with appearances in Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby, 1976, SST Death Flight, 1977, and the soap opera Dallas during the 1978 and 1979 seasons. In the fall of 1984, she took on the role of Taylor Chapin in the syndicated soap opera Rituals, succeeding Jo Ann Flug. Tina's toxic relationship with her character, Ginger. As we earlier discussed, Tina progressed in her career, but this time she was not just desperate for roles like she once was. She began to dislike typecasting, and she would reject any roles that were not in line with the type of actress she wanted to become. She wanted to be known as more than just Ginger of Gilligan's Island, and so she pressed on for that. Thankfully, Tina Louise's journey in the entertainment world extended beyond her iconic role as Ginger Grant on Gilligan's Island. In 1987, she co-starred in the Robert Altman comedy O.C. and Stiggs, and later appeared in the independently made satire Johnny Sued in 1992, where she shared the screen with a young Brad Pitt. Her versatility in both film and television remained evident when she took on the role of Miss Beck in an episode of the situation comedy Married with Children, titled Kelly Bounces Back in 1990. As the years unfolded, Tina continued to add diverse roles to her repertoire. In 2014, she ventured into the realms of spirituality and horror, starring in the drama Tapestry and the chilling film Late Phases. While she declined to participate in the Gilligan's Island reunion television films, Tina didn't entirely shy away from the show's legacy. She made brief walk-on appearances on talk shows and specials, including Good Morning America, 1982, The Late Show, 1988, and the 2004 TV Land Award show, standing alongside other surviving cast members. The 1990s saw a heartwarming reunion with her Gilligan's Island co-stars Bob Denver, Dawn Wells, and Russell Johnson in an episode of Roseanne. However, she did not join them for the television film Surviving Gilligan's Island 2001, where Kristen Dalton portrayed Ginger. Rumors swirled about strained relations between Tina and Bob Denver, but in 2005 she penned a brief yet affectionate memorial to him in the year-end farewell issue of Entertainment Weekly after his passing. In December 2020, following the news of Dawn Wells' passing, Tina Louise addressed long-standing rumors, denying any resentment towards her role as Ginger Grant. She expressed genuine affection for her character, especially after the show's creators began tailoring scripts specifically for her. Grateful for the show's enduring popularity, she acknowledged the comfort it provided to fans, particularly during challenging times like the COVID-19 pandemic. As letters poured in, she realized that Gilligan's Island had become a generational escape, with fathers now sharing the show with their children, creating a lasting legacy of joy and connection. Family and personal life. Let's zoom in on Tina Louise's personal life between 1966 and 1971. During this time, she was married to a guy named Les Crane, who worked in radio and TV. Together, they had a daughter named Caprice. Now, Caprice didn't just follow in her mom's footsteps. She became an MTV producer and even tried her hand at writing novels. Tina and Les appeared as a married couple on a TV show called Love American Style in 1973. It's like they brought a bit of their real-life love to the small screen. Now, let's talk about Caprice Crane. She's not only known for being Tina's daughter, but also for her own achievements. In 2006, she released her first novel called Stupid and Contagious. What's sweet is that she dedicated it to her mom, Tina Louise. So here's the family scoop: Tina, Les, and Caprice, a trio with their own stories unfolding both on and off the screen. It's like a little family drama playing out in the background of Tina's well-known acting career. However, aside from her family, Tina is also involved in a lot of other things. Tina Louise isn't just a familiar face on the big and small screens. She's also a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and a lifetime member of the Actors Studio. But there's more to Tina than just acting. She's a strong supporter of literacy and education. Tina rolls up her sleeves and dives into volunteer teaching at Learning Leaders, a nonprofit that helps kids in New York City with tutoring. For her, it's not just about teaching reading, it's about boosting their confidence, self-determination, and showing them their own potential. Tina is all about making a difference in young lives, but that's not all. She's also an author. Tina poured her experiences into her first book, a memoir called Sunday, released in 1998. It's like a peek into the first 8 years of her life. Then in 2007, Tina switched gears and wrote a children's book called When I Grow Up. For her, passing on the love for reading to kids is crucial because it sticks with them forever. Tina even went on a book tour, hitting up places like New York City, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, Philadelphia, and the Festival of Books at UCLA. Her third book, What Does a Bee Do?, came out in 2009 and focuses on something super important, the honeybee depopulation syndrome. It's not just for kids, it's also an educational tool for adults. The book got a thumbs up from Joel Klein, the chancellor of New York City Public Schools, plus there's an animated version in the works. So besides entertaining us on screen, Tina Louise is busy making a positive impact in education, literacy, and even the world of buzzing bees. Her notable awards. Tina Louise's journey in the world of entertainment is not just marked by her captivating performances, but also by the recognition and accolades she has received for her contributions. While Tina is known for her iconic role as Ginger Grant on Gilligan's Island, her awards and honors extend beyond the confines of the television screen. Throughout her illustrious career, Tina Louise has garnered appreciation for her acting prowess, earning accolades that underline her talent and versatility. While specific awards might not be as plentiful as her impact on popular culture, Tina's ability to leave a lasting impression is undeniable. One notable recognition in her career is her membership in the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, an esteemed institution that honors outstanding achievements in the film industry. Being part of this prestigious academy is a testament to Tina's standing among her peers in the cinematic world. Additionally, Tina Louise holds a lifetime membership at the Actors Studio, a renowned organization that has been a breeding ground for some of the finest talents in the performing arts. This recognition reflects her commitment to honing her craft and contributing to the rich legacy of the theatrical arts. While specific award wins may not be as prominently documented, Tina's enduring presence in the entertainment industry and her membership in esteemed institutions underline the respect and admiration she has earned throughout her career. Her impact goes beyond accolades, resonating with audiences and fellow professionals alike, making Tina Louise a cherished figure in the world of entertainment. Her influence on fashion. Tina Louise's influence on the world of fashion is as timeless as her on-screen presence. From her portrayal of the glamorous Ginger Grant in Gilligan's Island to her dazzling red carpet appearances, Tina has consistently showcased a keen sense of style that resonates with fans and fashion enthusiasts alike. As Ginger Grant, Tina Louise not only brought the character to life with her acting prowess, but also left an indelible mark on the fashion landscape. Ginger's island chic wardrobe, characterized by flowing dresses, statement accessories, and glamorous beachwear, became iconic. The show's popularity catapulted these looks into the mainstream, influencing fashion trends of the era and leaving a lasting impact on how people perceived resort wear. Beyond the small screen, Tina Louise's red carpet looks have been a source of inspiration for fashion enthusiasts. Her ability to effortlessly combine sophistication with a touch of allure has set her apart as a true fashion icon. Whether attending premieres, award ceremonies, or charity events, Tina's wardrobe choices have consistently made headlines, showcasing her versatility and flair for making a statement. What makes Tina's impact on fashion truly noteworthy is her ability to adapt to evolving styles while maintaining a distinct and timeless aesthetic. Her fashion choices have not only reflected the trends of each era, but have often set new standards, earning her a reputation as a trailblazer in the world of style. Tina Louise's influence extends beyond the garments she wears. It encompasses an attitude of confidence and elegance that has resonated with generations. Her fashion legacy serves as a testament to the enduring power of style to captivate and inspire, making Tina Louise a perennial icon in the ever-evolving world of fashion. Tina's passion for literature. Tina Louise's dedication to improving child literacy goes beyond the pages of her books. It's a heartfelt commitment that has made a tangible impact on young minds. Her advocacy for literacy is not just a cause she supports, but a passion she actively engages with to foster positive change. In 2007, Tina took a significant step by donating a portion of the proceeds from her book, When I Grow Up, to literacy programs. This financial support directly contributed to initiatives aimed at enhancing educational opportunities for children. By investing in literacy programs, Tina demonstrated her belief in the transformative power of education and the importance of providing young learners with the tools they need to succeed. Beyond financial contributions, Tina Louise has been hands-on in her efforts to promote child literacy. In a 2013 interview, she revealed her extensive volunteer work at local public schools since 1996. This extended period of involvement underscores her enduring commitment to making a positive impact on children's lives through direct engagement in educational settings. Tina's literary contributions also reflect her commitment to inspiring young minds. Her children's book, When I Grow Up, released in 2007, is a creative and humorous exploration of various animal kingdom achievements. Through imaginative comparisons, Tina encourages children to believe in their limitless potential, fostering a sense of empowerment and self-confidence. Following the success of When I Grow Up, Tina continued her literary journey in support of child literacy by publishing a second children's book in 2009 titled, What Does a Bee Do? This book not only engages young readers with its educational content, but also addresses the critical issue of honeybee depopulation syndrome, making it a unique and impactful addition to children's literature. Tina Louise's multifaceted approach to promoting child literacy, encompassing financial contributions, volunteer work, and engaging literature, highlights her commitment to creating a brighter future for young learners. Through her advocacy and tangible efforts, Tina continues to inspire children to embark on their own journeys of learning and discovery. Her contribution to women empowerment. Tina Louise's advocacy extends into the realm of women's rights and empowerment, where she emerges as a powerful voice for positive change. Her commitment to gender equality goes beyond the spotlight, showcasing a passionate dedication to addressing crucial issues and supporting organizations that aim to reshape society into a more equitable space for women. Utilizing her platform, Tina Louise has consistently spoken out on important issues related to women's rights. Whether through interviews, public appearances, or social media, she leverages her voice to raise awareness about gender disparities and the importance of empowerment. By openly addressing these issues, Tina contributes to the ongoing conversation surrounding women's rights and challenges societal norms that may perpetuate inequality. In addition to her vocal advocacy, Tina actively supports organizations that work tirelessly to create a more equal society. These organizations may focus on various aspects of women's rights, including gender-based violence prevention, workplace equality, and reproductive rights. By aligning herself with these impactful organizations, Tina amplifies their efforts and contributes to the collective push for positive change. Furthermore, Tina's commitment to women's empowerment may extend to mentoring and inspiring the next generation of women, whether through mentorship programs, educational initiatives, or personal interactions. She plays a role in fostering a supportive environment that encourages women to pursue their goals and overcome societal challenges. Her animal rights activism. Tina Louise's compassion extends beyond the spotlight. She is a dedicated advocate for animal rights and welfare, leveraging her platform to support organizations committed to the protection and well-being of our furry friends. One of the prominent organizations Tina aligns herself with is the Humane Society of the United States, HSUS. This organization is at the forefront of the animal welfare movement, working tirelessly to combat animal cruelty, advocate for legislative change, and provide rescue and care for animals in need. Tina Louise's support for the Humane Society underscores her commitment to creating a world where animals are treated with kindness and compassion. In addition to her association with the Humane Society, Tina has also been involved with PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. PETA is renowned for its advocacy against animal cruelty in various industries, ranging from entertainment to fashion. Tina Louise's collaboration with PETA reflects her dedication to raising awareness about ethical treatment and encouraging others to adopt a cruelty-free lifestyle. Furthermore, Tina Louise has been an active supporter of the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ASPCA. The ASPCA is a venerable organization that has been working for over a century to rescue animals from abuse, pass humane laws, and support shelters nationwide. By aligning herself with the ASPCA, Tina contributes to the organization's mission of preventing cruelty and ensuring the welfare of animals across the United States. Tina Louise's involvement with these organizations not only showcases her personal commitment to animal rights, but also amplifies the collective efforts of these impactful institutions. Her advocacy serves as an inspiration, encouraging fans and the public to join the movement for a more compassionate and humane treatment of animals. As soon as Carolyn set foot in Hollywood in the 1950s, she was swiftly confronted by a dark and ugly truth. Her talent and acting prowess alone would not be enough to propel her toward success. She soon realized that she had to change her appearance to fit industry standards if she really wanted to make it in Hollywood. Driven by an unwavering desperation to achieve her dreams and a tenacity that could not be doused, Carolyn Jones's willingness subjected herself to the surgeon's knife, enduring the pain and outrageous fees of the procedure just so that she could finally have the career she yearned for. By the time the cosmetic surgery was over, she came out looking like an entirely different person. Her nose was more pointed, and she certainly looked like Hollywood star material. Determined to leave no stone unturned, she also dyed her hair, ditched her Texas accent, and worked on her posture, hoping that all these would guarantee her success. Just like she hoped, her career took off shortly after she made these changes, but soon enough, her career became subject to the volatility of the industry. No amount of physical transformation could save her from the unpleasant side of Hollywood. From unexpected career failures to long-standing health challenges and controversies, these facts about Carolyn Jones will undoubtedly astonish you. Abandoned by her father. From the day Carolyn Jones came into this world, it was clear that there was something different about her. She carried a bright light that was obvious, but soon enough, circumstances threatened to dim her light. Carolyn spent her early years in Amarillo, Texas with her family, but there was nothing blissful about her childhood. Her father, who was a barber at the time, was struggling to cater for his family, and each day was another struggle to make ends meet. But despite the struggles, Carolyn filled her home with light and laughter through her storytelling skills. Sadly, the events that unfolded after that were enough to silence her. At the dawn of the Great Depression, every ounce of joy that was left in the Jones household faded away completely. Her parents' relationship grew extremely tense, and their finances were in shambles. Things only got worse as the years went by, and there didn't seem to be hope. Her parents kept on drifting apart, and the tension between them affected Carolyn deeply. As a sensitive child, Carolyn was completely shattered by what was happening in her home. She noticed everything, from the arguments to the cold air between her parents and her father's rage. This made her childhood unstable, and she was constantly in a state of panic. Her relationship with her father also grew cold as the years went by, and nothing prepared her for the decision her father made in the year 1934. Carolyn's father woke up on one fateful day and decided that he was done. He was going to walk away, and no one could stop him. He packed his bags and left, abandoning his 2 daughters and wife. One can only imagine how heartbroken Carolyn was when she found out that the man who was supposed to be her protector and provider had abandoned her. Unfortunately, it didn't stop there. Carolyn was in for one hell of a bumpy ride, and her mother's next move would unleash something dark and unexpected. Living life in terror. Unable to fend for her children, Carolyn's mom made a decision to move back into her parents' home with her children. This seemed like the best decision, but she had no idea what her decision would cause. If only she knew. When she initially moved into her grandparents' home, Carolyn struggled to adjust to the new environment, but she eventually got used to the place. With the support of her grandparents, she continued schooling, and she was taken care of. On the surface, it looked like her grandparents had stepped in and saved the day, but behind closed doors, Carolyn began to see another side to her grandparents that she never saw before. It was during that period that she noticed her grandfather's anger issues, and she often found herself facing the brunt of his anger. He would yell at her often and leave her terrified due to his rage. It was bad enough that she had to endure her father's actions. Now this? She was shattered. Unfortunately, she couldn't do anything about the situation. If she made a wrong move, she and her mother would be left homeless, and she didn't want that. In order not to be engulfed by the flames of poverty, Carolyn endured her grandfather's treatment every waking day. Most of her days were marred with terror, but she didn't have much of a choice. She had to stay there. As time went by, Carolyn started looking for ways to escape her reality. She wanted more out of life, perhaps even a chance to pursue her acting aspirations. She became engrossed in Hollywood fan publications and other things to help her escape reality. Just when the hope of a better life was beginning to rise up in her heart, Carolyn fell terribly ill, and her illness chained her to her reality. She couldn't run or hide. She had to stay and fight, bedridden and shut out from the world. Stuck in the four corners of a room, Carolyn prayed and begged death to stay far away from her. She still had so many dreams. She wasn't ready to go just yet. Not many people know this aspect of the actress's life, but there was a time when she was bedridden for a very long time. While everyone else was going about their daily lives, Carolyn was battling for her life. She had been diagnosed with severe asthma, and this illness threatened to suck the life inside of her. In order to save herself and recover, Carolyn had to stay indoors for a while. It was one of the worst periods of her life, especially because she couldn't do the things that she used to do, like going to the movies. Frail and mentally drained, she found strength in her favorite songs and imagined life after recovery. As soon as she recovered and stepped out of the four walls of that room, she made up her mind to go after her dreams, no matter what. It was around that time that she found out about the Pasadena Playhouse, which was one of the most famous acting schools at the time. More than anything, she wanted to enroll in the school and finally explore her acting skills. She wanted to stand on stages and give audiences a show. She wanted to act. Thankfully, she was able to convince her grandparents to enroll her in the school, and that alone was a dream come true. With so much passion, confidence, and enthusiasm, she finally got into the school, ready to pursue her dreams. Her eyes were fixed on her goals till she found herself falling deeply in love with a man that no one approved of. A forbidden young love? In the late 1940s, Carolyn was laser-focused on acting school, and she wasn't planning on letting anyone distract her. Well, let's just say that everything changed when she met 27-year-old Don Donaldson. Everyone who knew Carolyn Jones knew that she was a person who always fought for what she wanted. Even if no one else supported her decision, this was exactly what did when she fell head over heels for Donaldson. The pair met in 1949, and it is safe to say that it was love at first sight. They were completely smitten by each other, and they couldn't hide it. However, many people disapproved of their relationship because of the age gap. Carolyn was still 19 years old at the time, and Don was 27 years old. Their age difference certainly raised eyebrows, but this didn't stop them from solidifying their relationship. The couple later got married a year after dating, despite the clear disapproval from many. Unfortunately, Carolyn's marriage to Donaldson didn't stand the test of time. They separated just a year later. After their divorce, Carolyn made the final decision to block out any and everything that didn't contribute to her dreams of being an actress. Now more than ever, she didn't want any distractions, and she was ready to do whatever it took to become a star, even if it meant going under the knife, her sacrifices for stardom. In the 1950s, Carolyn was desperate for Hollywood fame. She was willing to do anything and everything to get through the doors of fame, but she wasn't prepared for the sacrifice she had to make. The actress came to a shocking and devastating realization after she graduated from acting school. This was the fact that her talent alone was not enough to make her famous in Hollywood. The industry required more than from actresses at the time, and she was ready to give them what they wanted. As someone who already had a prior interest in anything relating to acting, she was certain that she chose the right career path. Her time in acting school was fun and interesting, especially because she explored her creativity. She was said to have performed incredibly well in school, and she was given several awards for her performances. But when she finally stepped into the acting world, she realized that her skills, talents, and passion were not enough to make her a success in the industry. At the time, beauty was a big deal in the industry, and every female who didn't look like the Hollywood it girl had low chances of succeeding. Although Carolyn was already beautiful, she didn't think her beauty was enough for the industry. Perhaps she judged based on the performance of her career compared to the careers of other women who had succumbed to the beauty standards in Hollywood. As soon as she noticed this, she decided to do everything in her power to meet the industry's beauty standards. This decision led to her undergoing painful and extremely expensive cosmetic surgery. With the hopes of a better life and a successful career, Carolyn Jones went under the knife. She sacrificed a lot of money and went through a lot of pain to look like a woman that would fit into the idea of a perfect actress in Hollywood. By the time the procedure was done, Carolyn's appearance changed completely. Her makeover left her with a pointed nose, blonde hair, and a completely different posture. She also worked hard to lose her Texas accent and position herself for better opportunities. Coincidentally, it was shortly after this transformation that a talent scout noticed her while she was performing in a theater. At the time, she was the very image of a perfect actress, and it was clear that with her looks and talent, she would go far in the industry. Shortly after, she aced her screen test and signed her very first contract with Paramount Studios. Her physical transformation certainly worked, and she was able to get amazing roles, but it is quite shocking that she was willing to go to such lengths in order to build a successful career. Sadly, her looks didn't preserve her career for long. She was tossed aside shortly after. An unexpected financial crisis. After the success of her big screen debut, The Turning Point in 1952, Carolyn could not contain her joy. Finally, she was beginning to experience the fame and success she always wanted, but fate didn't let her rejoice for too long. Her career was spiraling downward in no time. Carolyn would have never imagined her career would go anywhere but up after the sacrifices she made, but she was wrong. The accolades and applause she received from her role in The Turning Point started fading away after a while. It was said that her career suffered after her breakthrough role because she didn't get any other major roles to keep her career afloat. Paramount Studios, which was the studio that she was signed to at the time, provided only 2 minor roles for her after her big break, and this was not enough to sustain her career. If she got another major role after The Turning Point, then it would have propelled her career and enabled her to keep soaring, but the minor roles she played were like pins that deflated her career. To make things worse, she didn't get any other reasonable role until her contract with the studio expired. When this happened, Carolyn was left in the cold with the disappointment that she felt. She had genuinely thought that she was going to become a star with the help of Paramount Studios, but clearly this didn't happen. There she was, broke, forgotten, and alone, wondering what she was going to do next. Sadly, she didn't make as much money as she thought from the films she had appeared in, so her finances were in shambles. All her efforts to revive her career fell through, leaving her no choice but to ask her family for help. Things got so bad that she had to contact her sister and ask her to move in with her so that they would split the rent. Things were not looking good for the actress, and after trying hard to revive her career, she was unable to get opportunities on the big screen. To say that she was devastated would be an understatement. There was nothing more she could do. She eventually stopped trying to regain success on the big screen. Hollywood had turned its back on her, so she had no choice but to turn to television. Thankfully, the actress was able to get some TV roles. Slowly but surely, her finances improved and she was able to get back on her feet. Things were finally falling into place, and to crown it all up, she met a man that swept her off her feet. The future was looking bright, or so she thought. She popped the big question. When Carolyn met Aaron Spelling, she believed that she had found her soulmate. Desperate to have him by her side forever, she devised a plan to do something that was unconventional in the 1950s. The actress returned to theater performances after working hard to find success on TV. She thoroughly enjoyed the art of performing in theater, especially because it allowed her to fully explore her dramatic acting skills. Little did she know that her love for the theater will bring her closer to a man that would become her lover. From the moment Aaron and Carolyn met, there was a clear connection between them. They bonded over their desire to make it big in the industry, and their chemistry was out of this world. They eventually got into the relationship, and with each passing day, Carolyn was more convinced that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with this man. She couldn't imagine life without him. Within that period, life gave her another reason to smile. She was chosen to play a role in House of Wax, which was a 3D film. This was a big deal because there were very few 3D films at the time, and Carolyn being a part of such rare works of art restored her lost glory and made her one of the most sought-after actresses. She was finally getting the career success she wanted. Surely nothing else could go wrong, right? Buoyed by her professional triumphs and intoxicated by the certainty of her love, Carolyn approached Aaron with a trembling heart. She yearned for the sanctity of marriage, eager to seal their bond in an eternal embrace. But fate capricious and unpredictable, cast its shadow upon her desires. Aaron, plagued by the tumultuous currents of his own aspirations, confessed his hesitations. He was not yet ready to settle down, burdened by the weight of financial uncertainty. Carolyn's heart shattered, her dreams momentarily crumbling under the weight of his words. Desperation etched itself upon her face. Undeterred, Carolyn resolved to defy societal norms and seize control of her destiny. With an audacity that left the world gasping, she cast aside conventions and proposed to Aaron herself. The moment hung suspended, the world holding its breath. Aaron, awestruck by her boldness, found himself powerless against the strength of their love. He accepted her proposal, and a love story for the ages began. Her heart was full, her career was looking up, but once again, fate dealt her yet another devastating blow. She missed out on a life-changing role. When the casting executive at Columbia Pictures contacted Carolyn to inform her that she had been chosen to play the role of Lorene/Alma in the upcoming film From Here to Eternity, her heart leaped for joy. But what she saw as an answered prayer would soon turn into her biggest nightmare. Although Carolyn had already played some interesting roles in the past, there was no denying that the role she was being offered would change her life forever. The casting executive assured her that as soon as she passed the screen test, the role would automatically be hers. So, with enthusiasm and passion, Carolyn plunged into preparation mode. She wanted to do everything in her power to make sure that aced the test. After preparing thoroughly, Carolyn's joy was dampened on the evening before the screen test. Her health challenge was back, and there was nothing she could do about it. On the night before her big day, Carolyn began suffering from bouts of pneumonia. She fell terribly ill, and she had to be rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, her condition was extremely bad, and she almost her life on that night. There she was, laying in her hospital bed with the pain and regrets of what could have been. Clearly, she couldn't show up for the screen test the following day, and this led to her losing the life-changing opportunity. The role was eventually given to another actress, and the film turned out to be a major hit. Carolyn watched the biggest opportunity of her life pass her by, and she wondered why fate was so cruel. She then made up her mind to work on a comeback plan and prove herself in the industry. Her plans and efforts later paid off, but not for long. Just when she was getting back on her feet, she fell terribly ill again. She refused to kiss Elvis Presley on set. Back in the 1950s, Elvis Presley was said to be one of the most charming actors, and the ladies loved him. This was why it was so shocking when Carolyn decided that she didn't want to kiss him on the set of King Creole. While he was preparing to join the army, Elvis Presley decided to take one last role. This time, he was supposed to act Carolyn Jones's love interest. When the filming of King Creole commenced, everything was going well until Carolyn began to face her demons yet again. She came down with a terrible fever while filming, but she wasn't going to let her health stop her from playing this particular role. So Carolyn mustered the strength and continued acting until it was time for her to kiss Elvis Presley in one of the scenes. Unlike a lot of women who would jump at such, Carolyn didn't want to. Not because she found him unattractive, but because of her health. It was said that the actress literally begged to not kiss him. She desperately wanted that part of the scene to be removed because she was afraid that she would make him sick through the kiss. Elvis Presley managed to douse the situation with a little humor by saying he hoped the effect of the kiss would get him out of the army. Thankfully, Carolyn was able to act on all her scenes successfully and with the support of her colleagues. In the end, the film turned out to be a huge success. She was glad and inspired to keep pushing. She kept working hard until she landed a role in The Addams Family. Not many are aware of this, but the role of Morticia was not exactly loved by all. In fact, the character led to a controversy that the actress didn't see coming. She was condemned for a role. In the 1960s, a lot of things that the world now sees as normal were unacceptable and almost seen as taboos. Romance on screens was not exactly normalized, and some actors like Carolyn were even condemned as a result of on-screen romance. After several years of investing in her craft, Carolyn finally landed a TV role that changed the game. She was chosen to portray Morticia Gomez's wife in The Addams Family, and as soon as it aired, viewers were left in awe and utter shock. Apparently, several people were taken aback by her on-screen romance with her husband. Some claimed that the sexual chemistry between Morticia and Gomez was too much. Clearly, people in the 60s would not be able to handle the romance on screen these days. But that wasn't all. Her role led to serious controversy, and several people condemned her actions. The actress, who was only playing her role, wasn't deterred by the comments. Being an actress meant that she was going to do things that people were not okay with sometimes. The show turned out to be a major hit, garnering several fans who looked forward to new episodes. The show's success made her even more famous and opened more doors for her. It is safe to say that this very role that was condemned by some was the role that made the actress a macabre icon. After the success of the show, Carolyn spent the next few decades doing the very thing she loved the most, acting. She kept on facing challenges, from failed marriages to her ill health, but none of these stopped her from acting. Unfortunately, her health kept on deteriorating in the 1980s, and she knew that her end was close. To fulfill her final wish, she tied the knot with her longtime boyfriend in 1982. Sadly, the actress passed away the following year after a long battle with colon cancer. Her death certainly left a void in the industry at the time. Several years have passed by, but she is still remembered as an impeccable actress with a determined spirit.